Hi, my name is Mark Taylor. Welcome to Mark D Maker. Today we're going to be looking at two-part epoxy putty. It's called Magic Sculpt. These two parts, you mix them one-to-one together and they harden within about 45 minutes overnight, hard as a rock. I'm going to use aluminum foil as an armature. I'll show you the tools real quick and we'll get right into it. Alright, for an armature, took a regular aluminum foil and just started crunching it up. At first, you want the form to be loose and vague, and you just get tighter and tighter and tighter. And this is what I have. This is going to be a hummingbird. I'm doing a hummingbird because I'm familiar with birds. I've studied hummingbirds a lot. I got all kinds of reference material on hummingbirds that I've collected over the years. So when you're starting with something new, a new material, do yourself a favor, start small and start with something that you're familiar with. So hummingbirds are small, I'm familiar with it. As you can see, I just got a little wire here, put a little super glue in there to get it to stay. And we're going to cover it with about 1/4 inch of the two-part epoxy. Now let me show you the tools. All right, here's some tools that I have. These are silicone tipped brushes. Got these on eBay. All the blue tipped ones were like $2, and the fine detail ones, the black tip, were like 99 cents for a pack. Here we have some homemade tools, some store-bought. Paintbrushes are always good to use to add moisture and to smooth things out. Some sculpting balls here. This set I bought on eBay, $3 for that whole set. It was a really good buy. It comes from China, so you may have to wait a month if you order these, but really good buy. These are clay working tools to unify like a really rough area. Some sculpture tools that I've acquired over the years. These two are needle tools. So they have a fine point on the tip, and this is a tool that I made out of stick pins and polymer clay. This is good for getting like a fur-like texture. You get it really quick. You could use the needle tool, but this will just do it a whole lot quicker. Oh yeah, I don't want to forget a couple of butter knives. Now, I got these at a thrift store because when you go to remove the material from this container, you don't want to use just one thing and scoop it here and then go to here. You'll cross-contaminate between the resin and the hardener. You want to keep those separate. So I have these two butter knives just to help to get the putty out and to not contaminate what's in there. On with the project. It's very stiff. You should wear gloves when mixing it. I'm not that familiar with it, so I'm going to wear gloves through the whole process. Better safe than sorry. Ooh, the hardener really smells like ammonia. And it is quite stiff. It would be hard to dig this out just with your fingers. Let's see. All right, it's been overnight and it is no longer sticky. It is smooth, hard. It's like a solid piece of plastic. No give. Interesting. Now we'll see if it'll take a layer on top of this for detail. So we'll start doing the landscaping of the bird and putting the feathers in. All right. Well, what I've got here is, if you look at this, this is it's a carving pattern from a wood carving book, but it's very accurate. So I can rely on that pattern to get the size right, and I made them entirely too big. I had this on here, which is making his body way too long and his tail way short. So you can see here that if I stick fairly close, now there's different size hummingbirds. I don't have one in mind in particular. This pattern here is for the ruby-throated hummingbird. But while I cut the bottom off, I'd figure I'd try to hollow it out and see how hard it is to dig the aluminum foil out, because I have a plan for a hummingbird to hollow it out and put a mechanical mechanism inside of it. That video will definitely be coming up, and I'm surprised how strong that is. That is really strong. Feels like a walnut shell. If that was wood and I squeezed this hard, that would just snap. So I'm very pleased with how strong it is. This right here where this cut is about where the feet are going to go, and then it drops off real quick. And you can see in this photo, here's the feet, and this drops off real quick, and this is all wing. So I would say this is a good form to build the detail on. This is a good armature, nice and solid, and I'll be able to work well off of that. Put the second layer on here. Let's continue with the project. So for me, working with this material is definitely a learning curve. It's very sticky. Every time you push your thumb into this stuff, it wants to stick to you. I did learn, though, that by rubbing water on it and keeping your gloves wet, it actually doesn't stick nearly as bad. Much easier to work with by keeping it wet. Through experimentation, I finally am starting to make some progress with this material. On the belly here, you can see it's carved, and I like that multiple facets that will break the light when I put an iridescent coat on it. The wings, upper wings here, I simply used a small gouge, and I was able to get these little wings in, and the silicone tipped brush here to get the larger wings in. On the head, I used a little gouge and just took little tiny gouge marks out of it, just enough to break up the light. This is not going to be a super realistic, what's called super realism. It is going to be more or less a sculpture where I'm just trying to get the image across, and all these little breaks in the surface will help the paint job, the iridescent paint that I use, reflect better. So my overall take on this product is it's really good. It's neat. It's very durable. There's definitely a learning curve involved.
It's taken me twice as long to get to this point than to do a wood carving. But I'm sure that process will speed up as I become more and more familiar with the product and how to handle it. I'm going to finish it up, and the next time you'll see this little guy is when I paint him. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time.